All right, let's dive into Italy. We've got your requests from the Love to Visit Italy newsletter with articles, social media posts, all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a lot to cover. Practical tips, hidden gems, food, art.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's so captivated by Capri, right? It's like beautiful in every season, even sipping coffee in the piazzetta during the holidays, surrounded by lights.
I mean, that's the thing about Italy. Always something special going on no matter when you go. Like Capri in winter, you could avoid all those summer crowds, maybe even get better deals on places to stay.
I like that idea. And they were talking about experiencing Capri sustainably and Ferraglione. What are those?
Oh, the Faralleone, yeah. They're these rock formations, huge ones coming right out of the sea off the coast of Capri. You can't miss them. And, the sustainability thing is key. Imagine you're hiking these nature trails in Capri, fresh sea air or a boat tour that's good for the environment. Get all the beauty, none of the guilt.
I never thought of Capri as being so eco-friendly. I was just picturing, fancy resorts, crowded beaches.
Oh, there's way more to it. High-end shopping, nightlife, nature, quiet coves, local restaurants. You can go back over and over and see something new each time.
Now that's what I like to hear. So in their top 10 places, they've got Capri, but also the Amalfi Coast. They describe it as having dramatic cliffs in charming towns.
Ah, Amalfi Coast. You've got winding roads right on those cliffs, colorful houses all over the hillsides, and amazing views of the Mediterranean. Each town has its own, personality. Positano, chic boutiques, vibrant feel. Amalfi itself, it's got a rich history as a maritime republic.
Okay, now I'm getting wanderlust. You mentioned that Path of the Gods hike. Is that something, like, if I'm kind of fit, could I do it? Or is it for, like, expert hikers? Those panoramic views sound incredible.
You'd love it. It's about 6 kilometers, takes you 3, maybe 4 hours to do the whole thing. The trail's well maintained and the views are amazing. Definitely worth it. Wear good shoes, though, and bring water, especially if it's hot.
Got it. We can't forget Rome. The newsletter mentions how historically important it is, and I'm already thinking about the Trevi Fountain. Gotta toss that coin in. Maybe it'll grant me a wish. Who knows?
You know, the Trevi Fountain is a masterpiece,
Yeah.
like Baroque architecture at its finest. You're in this busy square, and then bam, there's this incredible fountain, cascading water, sculptures everywhere. It's stunning, especially lit up at night.
I love those little details. And they mention the Colosseum, the Pantheon. It's like every step you take in Rome is a step back in time.
Right. Ancient ruins right next to these Renaissance palaces, modern life happening all around it. You really see all those layers of Italian history and culture.
Okay, listener, listen up. They have this section, experience is likely to sell out. No specifics, but it got me curious.
It's a good reminder, though. If you're planning a trip, especially during the busy season, you need to book things in advance, like a guided tour of the Colosseum, tickets to some special exhibit. Plan ahead, save yourself the hassle.
Got it. Even if we don't know what to book, we know to be ready.
Exactly. Be proactive. Do your research.
Love it. Okay, around the web, this is where they pull interesting news. One headline, Italian cruise port welcomes 500,000th passenger. Sardinia's killing it with cruise tourism.
It's booming, yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
It's like the Caribbean of Europe, right? Amazing beaches, clear water, but there's also these ancient Nuraga ruins, mountains perfect for hiking, a unique food scene, a real mix of cultures over the centuries.
Sardinia sounds way more interesting than I thought. Definitely going on the list. What else is in the news?
There's an article about a new welcome center at St. Peter's Basilica.
Hmm.
They're trying to make it smoother for visitors, which makes sense when you think how many people go there.
I can only imagine those crowds. Any advice on how to deal with them?
Research is key. Look into tickets online for St. Peter's, for the Vatican museums. Avoid those lines. Go early in the morning or maybe do a guided tour. And dress appropriately, remember, it's a religious site. No shorts or sleeveless tops.
Makes sense. All right, this next one's interesting. They're talking about Lorenzo Quinn's support sculpture in Venice. Huge hands coming out of the water, holding up a building. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's not just a pretty sculpture. Quinn's making a statement about climate change, how vulnerable Venice is. The hands are like humanity.
Hmm.
We can either support the environment or destroy it.
It makes you think.
I love it when art has a message like that. Definitely on the must-see list now. Okay, let's talk food. Gino's gorgeous pistachio and chocolate cake. Chocolate and pistachio, I'm in.
That's Italian cooking for you. Imagine this. You've got a delicate cake, right? Then, rich chocolate ganache, pistachio cream, all topped with crunchy pistachios. It's not just a cake, it's an experience.
My mouth is watering. And I bet that cake is just the beginning when it comes to Italian food.
Oh, yeah. Every region in Italy has its own food traditions, specialties, pasta, seafood, regional wines, desserts, you name it. It's a whole adventure in itself. Can't wait to dive deeper into that. So we've covered sustainable Capri, the Amalfi Coast, the history of Rome, art, food. It's like a whole tour of Italy already.
And this is just the start.
Yes.
Stay tuned for part 2. We're going to uncover even more hidden gems, give you those practical tips, help you plan that dream Italian escape you've been waiting for. Welcome back. Ready for more Italy?
Always. So those experiences likely to sell out. We got to talk more about that. You mentioned booking in advance. How do you even get those tickets? I'm picturing like fighting through a crowd.
I'd rather picture you strolling past that huge line at the Uffizi Gallery in Florence. You've got your ticket, you're ready to see Botticelli's Birth of Venus. No stress. That's planning ahead for you.
Sold. Websites, apps, what should I be using?
If it's a museum or a big attraction, check their official website. They usually have timed entry tickets. Best way to skip those lines. You can also try tickets or amusement. They specialize in that stuff. Sometimes they have discounts too.
Good to know. I'm taking notes here. Okay, back to the Amalfi Coast. Those cliffs, the towns, it just looks so beautiful.
It's not just about the scenery though, right? Imagine walking those streets in Positano, those pastel houses built right into the cliffs. Or Ravello, you're up high. These gardens, panoramic views. It's amazing.
I can picture myself now, limoncello in hand, overlooking the water. What's the vibe like in those towns?
It's a mix. Relaxed, but sophisticated. Stylish shops, art galleries. Then you've got those family-run trattorias with delicious seafood. Life just moves a bit slower there, like the rhythm of the sea.
Sounds perfect. That Path of the Gods hike, we know how long it is, but is it all uphill? Any parts that are really tough?
You do go up, yeah, but the trail's pretty gradual. There are some steeper bits, but nothing crazy if you're in decent shape. And the views, oh man, you'll be stopping every few minutes to take pictures.
Can't wait. Okay, Rome. It's just so much history, culture, all in one place. Where do you even start?
It really is an open-air museum. Every corner's got a story. Start with the big ones. Colosseum, gladiators battling it out, the Roman Forum, the heart of the empire, the Pantheon. That dome is insane. A real feat of engineering.
And I have to toss that coin in the Trevi fountain, right? For good luck.
Of course. Don't miss it. Best time to go is at night, less crowded, and the fountain's lit up. Magical. Think of all the wishes made there. Centuries of them.
That gives me chills. Back to Sardinia for a sec. They're hitting those cruise passenger numbers. We talked about why it's popular, but what kind of cruises are there? What can people actually see?
There's a lot of variety, honestly. Some cruises focus on the coast, the beaches. Others are more about history, culture. Imagine sailing the Costa Smeralda, those emerald waters, the fancy resorts. Or docking in Cagliari, the capital, exploring the old Castello district.
So depending on the cruise, you could have a totally different experience.
Totally. Some cruises even go to the Maddalena Archipelago, these islands off the coast. Untouched beauty, like a postcard.
That sounds incredible. The new Welcome Center at St. Peter's, is that to help with the crowds? Anything visitors should know specifically?
It's all about making it easier for visitors, which is smart when you think how many people are there every day. Information, tickets, restrooms. It's supposed to make things run smoother.
Smart. What about dress code? I know the Vatican's strict about that.
Definitely. Shoulders and knees covered. Men and women both.
Yeah.
No shorts, no sleeveless tops, nothing too short. You're visiting a holy site. Gotta be respectful.
Good to know. Okay, we were talking about art with a message. Lorenzo Quinn's sculpture. The hands, so powerful. What other art is out there that makes you think, sparks a conversation?
Art's always been a way to talk about social issues, politics.
Right.
Think of Banksy, his street art. It's all about those things, but with humor and irony. AI Weiwei, his installations, they often deal with human rights, freedom.
Art's not just about looking pretty then. It can challenge us, make us think.
For sure. When you're traveling, don't just stick to the museums. Keep your eyes open for murals, street art, sculptures. They're everywhere, reflecting what's happening in that place.
I love that idea. Gotta find those hidden gems. But we can't forget the sweet stuff. That pistachio and chocolate cake, amazing. What other treats should I be trying in Italy?
Oh, Italy's a dessert lover's dream. You have to have gelato, of course. Every region has its own flavors: pistachio, hazelnut, ricotta, and fig, even basil.
Okay, gelato tasting is officially on the itinerary. Anything else?
Tiramisu, a classic. Coffee-soaked ladyfingers, creamy mascarpone cheese. It's so rich, so good. And if you're in Sicily, get cannoli. They're these crispy pastries filled with sweet ricotta cream. Sometimes they add candied fruit or chocolate chips.
Sounds like I need a whole suitcase just for dessert.
You can walk it all off exploring those Italian streets, right?
Zero. Okay, we covered a lot here. Booking those must-do experiences, uncovering gems on the Amalfi Coast, in Sardinia, exploring Rome, even indulging our sweet tooth. I'm ready to go.
And there's still more. Stick around for part 3. We're going to talk about the practical stuff, transportation, where to stay, all the things you need to actually plan your trip and make it happen.
All right, final part of our Italy deep dive. We've seen the sights. Now let's talk about how to actually get tea there, the practical stuff.
Right, because dreaming about Italy is one thing, but planning, that can feel a bit overwhelming,
Yeah,
especially if it's your first trip.
for sure. So let's say I land in Rome, excited to start exploring. What are my transportation options? Rent a car, public transportation, maybe even try one of those Vespas.
I wouldn't recommend a Vespa unless you're really comfortable on a scooter. Italian traffic can be intense, but Italy has great transportation, lots of choices. Trains are good for going between the bigger cities, efficient, comfortable, and you get to see the countryside.
So I can have those scenic train rides I always hear about without sacrificing, actually getting places on time.
Exactly. And for shorter trips or exploring those smaller towns, buses are great. They can get to places trains might not, those off the beaten path villages.
Okay, what about within cities? Public transport, or would a car be easier?
Most cities have really good public transport. Buses, trams, subways. Usually pretty cheap, efficient, and you get a feel for the city, like a local. Plus, no stress about parking, which can be a nightmare in some of those narrow streets.
That makes sense. So unless I'm going really off the grid, public transport's the way to go.
Pretty much. Oh, and a little tip. A lot of cities have these tourist travel passes. Unlimited rides for a few days, it can save you money, especially if you're doing lots of sightseeing.
Okay, transport sorted. Let's talk places to stay. Hostels, fancy hotels. Italy's got it all. How do you pick the right one?
Depends on your style and your budget, of course. Hostels are good if you're on a tight budget, especially in the big cities. Social vibe, you meet other travelers. For something different, try an agriturismo. It's a farmhouse, basically. You get to experience a bit of rural life, maybe even help out with winemaking or olive harvesting.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Really authentic. What about if you do want to splurge? Go fancy.
Oh, Italy has you covered there, too. Boutique hotels in old palaces, villas overlooking the coast, even monasteries turned into, like, these peaceful retreats. It's all about what kind of experience you're looking for.
Speaking of experiences, food's definitely a priority for me in Italy. Any advice on how to, navigate the food scene? I don't want to end up at tourist traps and miss the good stuff.
Embrace the regions. Italy's food is so diverse, each area has its own specialities. Be adventurous, try something new everywhere you go.
I like that. But give me some specifics. What should I be on the lookout for?
In Rome, you got to try the classic pasta dishes. Cacio e pepe. It's simple, just pasta, cheese, black pepper, but so flavorful. Or carbonara, eggs, guanciale, pecorino cheese. In Florence, get the bistecca alla fiorentina. It's this huge T-bone steak grilled perfectly. And of course, you can't go to Italy without having pizza. Go to Naples, where it all started, get a margarita pizza, the original and still the best.
My stomach's rumbling already. How do you find those hidden gem restaurants, the places locals go to?
Get off the main streets. Explore those little side streets. Look for small trattorias, osterias. They might not have fancy menus or websites, but that's where you find the real deal.
Okay, last question. If you could give one piece of advice to someone going to Italy for the first time, what would it be?
Don't rush it. Italy's best experience slowly. Savor those little moments, talk to the locals, enjoy the food, be open to discovering new things.
That's perfect. I think we've given our listener everything they need to plan an amazing trip. How to get around, where to stay, what to eat, and most importantly, how to approach the whole experience.
Absolutely. Travel with an open mind, be adventurous, be ready for the unexpected. That's when Italy really comes alive.
So as you start planning your Italian adventure, remember to enjoy every moment. Soak up that culture and make some memories. Maybe you'll find your own favorite pistachio and chocolate cake, or stumble upon your own little hidden trattoria. Who knows? Until next time, happy travels.
Ciao.